Hi, I'm Janet McHenry, and 10 years ago I wrote this book, Prayer Walk. And since that time, people have been asking me, so exactly what is it that you do, Janet, when you go prayer walking? So I thought it'd be fun to create this little video and invite you along with me as I go walking today. So, let's go. So about 12 years ago, I walked out my back door one day and I found myself in a crumpled heap because my knee had given way. I knew I needed to do something about my health, but also I knew I wanted to spend more time with God. I've been trying to get up earlier and pray, but I often found myself falling asleep. So being a multitasker, I thought, well, why don't I just get up a little bit earlier and I could walk and I could pray while I was walking. So that's as simply as it started. So let's keep going. So my perspective on prayer walking really changed when I walked past this little place one day and I saw what I thought I could call a single daddy's ballet. A young man, it wasn't even 6 o'clock in the morning yet, drove up in his pickup truck and he parked and he started to get out this little blanketed bundle. And the daycare worker drove up next to him. I knew her name to be Cheryl. And the two of them met up on the sidewalk and he turned over his little blanketed bundle over to Cheryl. And that little blanketed bundle said, "Bye, Daddy, I love you." And I knew right then that God had me in my community for more than just the various needs that I had, my family, my job, my concerns, but He also had put me here walking up and down Main Street in my little town, here in the Sierra Valley, to pray for the businesses, the people whose homes I passed, even the loggers going to the mill and the mill workers going out into the woods. So that's what prayer walking is. It's praying on site with insight. I think the best way to get a picture of that might be go see Vicki today. Let's go to Vicki's Bakery.
I don't know, Jerry. If your eggs are too done, I'll make this 2 more.
Hi, we're now in Vicki's Blue Moon Bakery, and this is my friend Vicki Barney. Hey, Vicki!
Hello.
And she is one of the reasons that I pray. You can just go back and go to work.
Thank heaven.
So what I do is basically, as I'm passing the businesses going through town, I just ask God to bless those who are in business here. I have a real heart for business people, for entrepreneurs. I think they have such courage to start a business and to keep it going. And so I just ask that God would bless them and take care of their families as they go through the various stresses that they have. So here we are in one of the little neighborhoods in my community here in the Sierra Valley in Northern California, 5,000 feet up in the Sierra. And what I do when I walk through the neighborhoods is that I ask that God would bless the marriages in these homes, and the children and the families would grow more closely together, and that God would favor them financially even. And so that as people are being blessed, that they would recognize that all of that favoring is coming from the Lord, and that they would turn to Him and just fall in love with Him more and more each day. So we're going to just take a little bit of a detour today because this is one of my favorite places in town. It's Sierra Valley Home Center, owned by Kim and Tony Fulke. Hi, I'd just like you to meet my friend Kim, who owns the Sierra Valley Home Center. Hi. There are all some really neat stuff here. Come look at this. Really cool Melissa and Doug toys. I love this place for my grandchildren. And come this way. Where else can you buy these things by the pound? Is this awesome? Look at, I could buy one. Why don't you come on in here? Loyalton High School where I teach students. And one thing that you can do with prayer walking is get a friend, maybe one or more days of the week. You pray strategically around the schools in your neighborhood. And that way you can pray for teachers, for the students by name, administration, any kind of issues that you know that are going on. And I know that you're going to find that there are changes, positive changes happening in your community. So we'll go inside in my classroom now. So here we are in my classroom at Loyalton High School, and I'm an English teacher here, and this is my big command center. Things are a little different in my classroom because it's summertime and they're doing cleaning now. But the great thing about prayer walking is you begin to develop the idea that you are praying wherever you are, whether you're actually walking or not. And so as I come into my classroom in the morning, I pray for my students, and I have found that really that my day goes much better, and my relationships are pretty close with my students. So praying on-site with insight, that's what prayer walking is. Oh no, it looks like I'm not the only one out for a walk this morning. The sheep are out at the high school. Come on, guys. Come on. So another way that you can pray strategically is that you can prayer walk around your husband's business, your wife's business. And right now we're out at my husband's ranch. He raises hay and beef cattle, and what I have done is walk the perimeter of the ranch. It's a 2-mile walk all the way around. I pray that God would bless him, that he would help him with any kind of problems that he may be having in his business, and that our marriage would grow stronger and stronger. So again, another way that you can strategically prayer walk. So here we are back at home again. I usually walk for about an hour and pray for the businesses and the homes that I pass. And I think we need a drink of water now, though, don't you? And sometimes people are really interested to find out where authors write. They like to see that magical place or whatever where all the words get put together. So I'd like to invite you into my home. So welcome to my office, where I have a lot of things that inspire me to write, at least in theory. Some of my favorite things, some inspirational words, gorgeous view right out our balcony, and then some not so subliminal messages to remind me to write. But in actuality, this room has become a war room because I'm now nonna to 6 grandchildren, 4 of whom live in our own little guest house. So I'm going to show you exactly where I do write. So in actuality, this is usually where I end up writing, perched on my couch with my little laptop. And at the beginning of the video, I showed you my book, Prayer Walk, and taught you a little bit about how I prayer walk throughout my community. The 10th anniversary edition of Prayer Walk is now out, and it looks like this, and I'm pretty excited about that. The final thought I'd like to leave you with is that God can do the impossible through you. And keep that in mind as you're prayer walking. Make your prayers bold ones. Be persistent about meeting your Father on the streets as you're prayer walking for your community. And keep remembering that with man this is impossible, but all things are possible with God.